What's going on, y'all? So listen.
What's going on, y'all? So we are back again for another episode review of Queen Sugar. Okay, this is season 6, episode 8. All those brothers and sisters, okay? Brothers and sisters. Listen, let me just tell you this. I got some questions about a couple of people. Dominic, I'm a little concerned. I mean, you killed or whatever for Nova, and I've been saying that, but this episode made me raise a little antenna, okay? And I was just questioning some things, but okay, we'll get there. Let's just do Ralph, all right? Because the episode starts off with Ralph, he's sitting on the swing outside, and you can visibly see him in his feelings, okay? And Darla bring her butt out there. Listen, she just trying to make the situation a little bit lighter because I was about to ask now, why you gonna ask that man how he was? Okay, you see his face. You see his face and you see that he is in distress, okay? But she just trying to make the situation light, so I understand that, you know what I'm saying? Sister wife doing all that she can. Speaking of sister wives, did y'all hear? I don't know if y'all watch Sister Wives on TLC, but if you do, did you hear that Christine left Cody? Girl, I thought it was gonna be Mary. All right, I thought Mary was gonna be the first one that jumped ship, but it was Christine. But all right, moving on from that. She basically was out there like, "Hey, how you doing? How did you sleep?" He was like, "I mean, I'm all right, but I got a lot on my mind." You know, and basically, he just can't believe that he has to give up the farm. This is the farm that he was born on, this land. He said he wanted to die on it. And, it's just a lot. That legacy, everything. And, we find out that the lawsuit has been settled for the farmers. Charlie wants them to come down to the city hall. And, Darla had to tell him, regardless of where we end up at, okay, if we stay here on this farm, if we have to go, we have to realize that we have a baby coming, okay, and we got to make the best out of it for her. And wherever we make our home, wherever we at, that's going to be our home, and we just have to understand that, okay. And that's just basically it. Let me tell you something, Ralph. This is your fault. I'm so sorry. This is your fault, okay? Your fault. But anyway, I love the fact that the beginning of the episode started off with Ralph and Darla, and the ending of the episode started off with Ralph and Darla. You got, Ralph just still being in his feelings and being unsure about things, and then you have Darla still being that light force. She's trying to look at the upside of things. At the end of the episode, she told him, I found a little apartment for us. It's affordable. It's in a nice area, and Ralph, he's just like, hold on a minute. She's like, we have to be realistic at this point. Like, I understand how you feel about this land, this legacy, and everything, but you got me, I got you, and we have to be able to provide for one another. Okay, you have to come through for us. And he was like, I'm gonna do whatever I gotta do. I'm gonna get a job. I might go back to the nursing home. I said, that's what you better do. Okay, at this time, we can't be sitting around waiting to see if something might happen. No, we got to move on stuff right about now, but we be asked out in the streets, okay? Meanwhile, moving on from that, let's get to Vi, okay? Because Vi had me nervous this whole episode. We only saw 2 scenes with her. And the 2 scenes, well, actually was 3 scenes, okay? So, Hollywood was getting ready to open up the real spot, to go put some of Micah's stuff in display. He was about to have this little showing of a gallery showing of his artwork, his photography. And the whole time, Vi just looked a little off, okay? And at one point, she was just moving a little slow, looked like she was a little bit dizzy and whatever. And I was like, Hollywood, stay by her, stay by her. But Vi being Vi, she's like, I got this, I'm cool. Everything was okay, I just a little dizzy. I just got to sit down and rest myself. That's it. Hollywood let her out his sight, okay? And I said, Hollywood, why would you do that? I'm not blaming you because Val would have probably told you to go anyway, which she did, okay? She would have forced you out the house if you would have tried to stay, all right? But I wish you would have probably just sat outside because you know how your wife is. But he still had to go to his gallery, to the real spot because he got stuff to do himself, this is a big moment for Micah to put his work out there in the photography, showing it, showing his skills and everybody coming through and just to give that encouragement and to love on him and all of that. Meanwhile, while he down there, we see a scene where Vi sitting up in the house, okay? It looked like she done took her little shower or whatever. She done came out. You can still see it in her face that something is not right. You can see like the energy is gone. You can see the unstableness. And I'm sitting here like, Vi has lupus. And I remember when they showed when she found out that she had lupus, the symptoms that she was having was very similar to what was going on right about now. Okay. Mama took some stuff. I don't know if she took something and put it on her like this. She just touched herself like that. And her arm looked funny. Okay. It looked real funny. You know, and I was like, why are we touching it like that? It was like very light touch. And next thing you know, Vi stood up. She tried to take a step. Next thing you know, Mama wobbled a little bit and she gracefully passed out onto the bed, to the floor. I said, oh, I ain't never seen nobody fall and pass out like that. That was so graceful, okay? Vi said, I ain't finna fuck up my head. Vi said, I am not about to bust this head open, okay? Even though it was probably the carpet on the floor. But she said, it's not about to be a lump back there. Mama slid down, okay? She slid down. I said, oh, thank you. Okay, because if she would have had to go to the hospital, baby, I would have been over it. I would have been here like, now why y'all keep doing this, okay? The Bordelon family cannot have a win, okay? You know, as soon as we seem like we finna get up out of something, something else pop off. I said, here go Vi having a flare up. Meanwhile, she on the floor and Hollywood up in the grill spot. And I'm like, Hollywood, come get your wife. Come get your wife, sir. Please. We don't know what's going on. Meanwhile, he finally came after the whole situation got through. And he was like, yo, Vi, what's going on? I don't know where you at. Where you at? You know, it was real good. It was, we had a real good moment at the real spot. Baby, he walked past the room and didn't even see her on the floor. He come back. He looking all over. I said, turn left. No, turn right. Turn right. He finally turned right. And I was like, there she go right there. He was like, oh my God, babe. You know, and she was like, I'm okay. I'm okay. You know, and he was like, get up. Let me help you up. So basically, of course, Vi being an older person and, you know, most of us black folks, we don't like going to the doctor. We really don't have to. And it was like she was prolonging it as long as she could. And she was basically saying that she was having a flare up. And, you know, she'll be okay. She need her medicine. She need her rest. And she'll be all to the good, okay? And, you know, Hollywood was like, listen, I'm not finna have nothing happen to you, okay? That's what we not about to do, you know? But if you want to do this, we gonna do it your way. But if you don't feel no better by the end of the day, we going to the hospital, okay? So she was laying up there in the bed. And then Hollywood came in and was like, yo, we got somebody here to see you. And she was like, listen, I don't want to see nobody. Okay, listen, Hollywood, I'm not trying to see anybody right now. She was like, you want to see him. And then it was Ralph Angel. I was like, oh, you know, you guys are good again. I love it. The family is back together. Okay. And so at this point, you know, Ralph came in and, you know, he was looking at Vi. And you know what? I love the fact that they will make Ralph cry at any minute because he is not about holding back his feelings and giving off that I got to be uber masculine and I can't show my emotion type of thing. I love the fact that most of the men on this show are very much capable and are showing their emotions. I love that. Okay. Ralph will cry like this. Ralph will cry like Candace on Real Housewives of Potomac, okay? And y'all know if you watch, she'll cry at the drop of a dime, all right? Ralph will do the same thing, and I just want to wipe his tears. It's okay. It's okay. Get it out. Get it out, okay? But it was an emotional moment because they were finally having a real conversation and he was trying to tell her that he apologizes for what he got the family into, you know, and she was making it known to him that it's okay. It's okay. And she shouldn't have said some of the things that she said to him. Things shouldn't have went the way that it went. You know, she should have trusted him. She did look up the school that Blue went to and realized that it was a really, really good school, you know, and they made a good decision. And, you know, when they got through talking and that when Ralph was just like, I need you to get better because I don't know what I would do if I would lose you. I don't know what I would do if I would lose you. I said, oh my God. Vi, get better. It was so cute. It was so cute. I said, you know what? That was a nice moment. It was a moment that they needed to have. So I was here for it, okay? And I love the fact that basically throughout the whole episode, you have people encouraging each other and soothing each other. That's what they was doing, okay? You know, speaking of the City Hall situation, Baby, they went down to City Hall and, what's her name? Charlie had to tell us, listen, the lawsuit is settled. That's the good news. Y'all gonna get some money. Okay, y'all getting some money from the farmers lawsuit and from this other situation too. And the bad news is you're only getting $20,000 from the lawsuit and $20,000 from this other thing. So that's basically from the reform thing. So that's basically $40,000 for each person doing for each farmer. Okay, and everybody was like, wait a minute, what? That's it? Y'all done put us through all this time, and we only getting $40,000 altogether. We lost more than that. We lost more than that. Okay, so it's the same typical, dicking us around. And that's basically what they were doing. They were dicking them around only to give them this small amount, knowing that they messed up on their part. Okay, and they had all the reasons to feel the way that they felt and to get the money that they needed to get. And yet you gonna say, here, let me throw this little peanuts at them so they can shut up. That's basically what they did, of course, Charlie and Ralph, they had to have a little discussion, and she's trying to get a lawyer on things or whatever to see what's going on with him. And at this point, like Hollywood said last week, Ralph, you did this, okay? So, you got to suffer the consequences, and it is what it is. But I do like the fact that no one is really coming at his throat and just like, look what you did. This is you. We wouldn't be in this because of you and all this stuff. And being a constant reminder that he messed up, okay? Because he's living with that. It's on his brain when he goes to sleep. It's on his brain when he wakes up. He knows that he made a big mistake, and he knows that they are in this situation because of him. And he don't need nobody else just constantly driving it home and digging it deeper and deeper on him that you are the cause of this. So I love that, because I got a feeling had this would have been like season 1, season 2, they would have been all up in Ralph's ass, especially season 1 when he first came out of jail. Okay, yeah, they would have been all up in his ass, and they probably would have excommunicated him from the family. Meanwhile, speaking of family, you got Micah. Okay, Micah and his friend Isaiah. Micah, you kind of disappointed me a little bit, but I kind of understand. But then again, I was just like, no. Because if I care about somebody, I don't give a fuck what nobody say. I don't care what nobody think or whatever. And I guess I could say that because it's easier for women to be around and be affectionate with men. I mean, no, girl, that ain't my forte. Be affectionate with other women. You know what I'm saying? And people don't think that, they might be gay or, whatever. Because that's what it's a normal thing for women to always be affectionate with people, with each other. And, we hug up on each other. We lay up on each other. We hold hands with each other. Hell, sometimes we kiss each other and it don't mean nothing. You know what I'm saying? We do all of that. Public displays of affection, and no one necessarily automatically think, they gay. We don't automatically think that because we see that happen so much. It's acceptable, and it's a double standard. We can't have men do the same thing without people thinking that, they must be gay. They must be doing something else. Like, what is this? And that was on display this episode. And I knew that it was going to come up, okay? I didn't know when, but I knew somebody was going to bring it up to the forefront. But they did that tonight. And I thought it was going to be one of the people from the dorm rooms, okay? Oh, no. It was one of our people from the parish, okay? One of the people that we always see on the parish. I said, listen, old folks will tell you how it is, okay? Listen, that ain't what we used to do, okay? Because back in my day when we seen some shit like that, hell no. We don't do no nuts like that. No, you need to get up out of that. That's basically what you do, because we ain't back in your day, okay? But anyway, Micah and Isaiah was at the dorms, okay, in the little frat lobby or whatever, and they was going over his photography stuff, okay? And I really did like their friendships, okay? The friendship seemed like it was going strong, and I felt like Isaiah was good for Micah to get in touch with his inner feelings, okay? To get in touch with, his affections and stuff, and to make him aware of the fact that you do have feelings, you do have emotions, you can be affectionate, and you can still be yourself. You know what I'm saying? And he brought that out of him. He felt comfortable. Isaiah felt comfortable with Micah because he felt as though Micah would not judge him. Regardless of what he is or what he says or says not that he is, Micah won't judge him. Micah didn't care. At least that's what he put off. That he didn't care. He wasn't that type of person that's not going to be cool with somebody because of what people are saying about him. him or her. You know what I'm saying? Bitch, bring Kiki back, okay? Bring Kiki back. I just remember that. I know he broke up with her, cheating ass bastard, acting just like your daddy. And I mean, I didn't mean to put it out there like that. I just got real mad at that because I didn't appreciate that. As soon as you hit college, you start going buck the fuck wild, okay? And you cheated on Kiki. Kiki didn't deserve that. Justice for Kiki. But anyway, they going over his little photography stuff and talking about all the different, shows that he can do and the different bigger places that he can be at. And some of the photos, they are a little close. And I was like, to be quite honest, I didn't think nothing of it. Maybe because I'm progressive like that, or my mind is open. I just didn't think automatically, because we already know that Micah is straight. He is not even, to me, he has not given the vibes that he even thinks or has that, inclination of possibly being bisexual or, wanting to be gay or whatever, or I mean, secretly gay. He don't have that. He don't give me that feeling, So I didn't see nothing wrong with it. And then Micah goes on and he's basically telling Isaiah that he's thankful for him. He's thankful for him being in his life, being that friend, being that brother to him, that he needs. And we need more of that. We need to see more of our black men being able to express themselves to each other, okay, and show appreciation to each other like that. That was so positive. That was so decent, and I loved it. I said, all right, so we on the right path. And Isaiah ain't nothing but his biggest cheerleader, okay? He does get him out of his comfort zone and pushes him to do this and other stuff and pushes his mind to think other ways. You know what I'm saying? And so they going to the real spot to do his first show. And, while they was up in there, of course, Hollywood had to go over there. They was talking about the lawsuit or whatever. And, Micah came over there, talking about, they were just going back and forth about how black people are treated unequally, you know what I'm saying? And we need to radicalize stuff, be like Fred Hampton and, Nat Turner and all that stuff. Always a history lesson. That is one thing that I love about Queen Sugar. It is always a black history lesson, and I love it. This show is so black, okay? I love it. Moving on from that. So they finally get Hollywood go over there to talk to Ralph. Of course, he was looking like, should I go over there? Should I not? I said, Hollywood, just go over there, because Ralph, he's sitting over there pouting like a little bit. He over there pouting like a little boy, okay, because he did something wrong, so he gonna wait till the parent come over there and say, you okay? Yeah, I'm okay. That's basically what happened. Hollywood was like, you good? He was like, yeah, I'm good or whatever. He was like, we good? I'm sorry I kind of went hard on you. And he was like, no, it ain't your fault. It's what was needed. And I'm so glad that Ralph accepted that he needed to be cussed out the way that he did, okay? Sometimes you have to be put in your place, put that shit right in front of my face. Oh. Anyway. Woo! But after that, they hugged it out. They opened up the gallery. And you got this one guy. What's his name? Ned or Crimble or whatever the freak it was. He come up in there and he looking at the pictures. And then it's this one picture that he fixated on. And it's in color. Most of the pictures in black and white. And this one particular picture is of Isaiah standing there like this, and then Micah got his head on his shoulder leaning over like that. I said, Lord have mercy. Nobody else said nothing. But he said, what's this? Y'all a little bit too close for me, huh? And, Isaiah was like, what's the problem? Listen, it's a whole bunch of other countries outside of America. You go outside of America, it's other countries that, men showing affection towards each other is cool. Even Hollywood had to step up. And Ralph was like, what's the problem? What's the problem? I don't see what the issue is, okay? It was like, even in Rwanda, they got the men walk down the street holding hands, okay? Some people just a little bit progressive than us and not always thinking everything is just a homosexual act or whatever. And so, Mr. Old Farmer Man, he said, well, we ain't in Rwanda. I said, you gotta go. You gotta go, okay? And that kind of made Micah uneasy, okay? Because later after that, they get back to the dorm room and, he putting his stuff away And Isaiah come up in there asking him, so how you think everything went? What you doing? You finna plan your next show? He was like, no, I'm not finna plan my next show because it's not gonna be any more show. And he was like, why would you do that? Because, you know, you saw how the way people reacted, you know, to certain things or whatever. And he was like, well, that was just one picture, okay? He was like, that's fine, but who's to say that, you know, nobody else felt the same way and they just didn't want to say it because I'm family. That's it. And you know, at this point, Isaiah was trying to encourage him, and he put his hand on his shoulder blade, okay? And Micah kind of, nigga, don't you do that. And I said, no, Micah. And Isaiah caught it, and he was like, wow, okay, cool. So that's how we gonna play this thing. And, you know, he said, I got a lot of things to think about. He was like, wow, so you got a lot of things to think about? You know, he was like, you know, with the sexuality, okay, about you might being gay and stuff. Oh, wait a minute. First of all, I didn't even say I was gay. Who care about the fact of my sexuality? I didn't even say this, okay? It was like, you know what? That's just a messed up thing that's even coming up, okay? A person can't even be themselves or without people thinking this and thinking that. Baby, Isaiah went off and he started crying, and I felt bad for him. I was sitting here like, he was hurt. He was hurt because he felt like the one person, you know, in his whole frat, and the one person in his college experience right now, especially being in the frat, okay, they were out, you know, speaking shit behind his back. And he was like, so basically what you finna be doing the same thing? What if let me find out that you probably doing the same thing that they doing, okay? The one person that he felt that he can rely on and was his real friend in this whole experience basically almost just turned his back on him because of his perceived sexuality and how people perceive them together now. Like, it's getting to Micah. And I said, oh, that is a learning lesson. You may let Isaiah cry. And I said, Micah, no, this is not what we need. You was being on the right track. And now we done veered the freak off. Okay, I don't know what we took the left train turn or whatever. Like the wheel popped off for a second. I need you to get off of it. I need you to go find that wheel. I need you to repair it, and I need you to put it back on track and stabilize this situation. Okay, because we can't be thinking like that in 2021. All right, we can't be thinking like that. We can't give in to the ignorance. We can't do that. Meanwhile, Nova. Nova girl, she was up in that house, you know, I think she was doing some little writing or whatever at her desk, and all of a sudden she started hearing some voices, you know, the whole incident when they came and broke into her house just started repeating through her head or whatever. And I said, oh my God, mama is having PTSD because she saw a piece of the broken glass that they broke, okay? I said, it is so crazy that she just so happened to see that in the corner, and it triggered all of that emotion, okay? It triggered that whole incident back over. And so, you know, she just figured, listen, it's time for me to go. I gotta go do something. And while she was getting up, baby, she get a knock at the door, and it's Dominic bringing over some food or whatever in the crock pot. Girl, I was sitting here like, damn, Dominic, talk about convenient, okay? You know, he said he was supposed to be at work, but he chose to work at home this day. He got some things that he needs to get to the boss or whatever. Nova talking about the fact that she about to go on a little road trip. Okay, she needs to get away, which she does. I feel like she does take a break after all of that traumatic experience that you went through. And she was like, she can't hear the ancestors talking to her. She's traumatized, so she just need a refresher. She needs to reset. And so Dominic was like, oh, okay, I'll come with you. And I said, excuse me, Dominic, now I know you said you're about to work at home today, but how can you just pick up and go somewhere with somebody? That's a little weird. That's just a little weird. Somebody on my thing said, what if he an informant or something like that to watch out on my timeline? It was like, I think we need to watch out for him. Now, I don't know if I had this feeling because it never crossed my mind, but it is a possible to watch out for him because maybe he is a little informant or something, but I don't think so. That's a little theory. That's a little theory because I was like, he jumped up and said, I'll go with you right now. And I was like, wow. And he sure enough went with her. Okay, they at the gas station gassing up, and you know she's talking about how the particular area where they at, you know, a lot of bloody bodies died there during the Civil War or something like that, and you know him being working with the government on a project of trying to, you know, save some of these older houses and turn them into historical sites so that they won't get torn down, and to, you know, give back some stuff. Girl, it was a lot. It was a lot. It was deep. Okay, so they're connected, like they're on the same page in all of this, you know, our ancestor stuff. Okay, we good. So they would be a good fit on paper and what it looked like right now, you know, and ideologies and stuff like that. Okay. And I just hope he turns out to be a good guy because Nova don't need to be effed over no more, okay? She sunk so low to the ground that she was dating a goddamn Mary cop. White one at that. I mean, ain't nothing wrong, but, it's a lot. It's a lot. And it got her into trouble. It got her into a lot of trouble. You know what I'm saying? And so at this point, they go to the Whitney plantation. Girl, I don't know how I feel. I know I want to see my culture or whatever, but I don't know if I necessarily want to go to a slave plantation. I just, because I know y'all will see me just be so extra quiet, and I wouldn't cry there, but you'll see me probably holding back tears because I don't like looking at stuff like that. Reading the history about what happened to our ancestors over here when they brought here in bondage, when we were sold, some of us sold by our own ancestors into slavery and all of that, and then coming to the plantations over here in America or whichever country they were stopped at, and being used as property and all this stuff, and you know the history of slavery. It's a lot. And then to see like the actual remains and stuff, and y'all know I love history, so baby, that will weigh deep on my soul. I'll probably be messed up for a couple of days. Okay, you won't hear from me in a couple of days. Just give me time to decompress. So I was like, good for y'all to be able to go on there, because I don't think I could. I don't think I could. All right, because at one point they looking at the names of all the slaves that was there, and Dominic goes and be like, look what they did to us, to our ancestors, the shit that they still doing to us and everything. Like, he was getting pissed. And I said, that would have been me. That would have been me. Okay. Meanwhile, they go up into the church, right? You see these little girls up in there, they talking to the little statues of the little kids and everything. And I kid you not, for some reason, that clip of when Portia, and I tweeted this, that clip of Portia on the Real Housewives of Atlanta, when it was, I think this was her first season, when they went to Savannah to that church and they was talking about the Underground Railroad. Portia said, who driving the train? I mean, it got to be somebody driving the train. And it's funny because it's sad because of who her grandfather was. Her grandfather was a whole ass important activist in our civil rights who marched with Martin Luther King Jr. And you asked about the Underground Railroad and who was driving the literal train that there was not. Girl, a mess, because it was 265 days in a year. Anyway, so, Nova was talking to the little girl. She was like, you're pretty. She was like, I know. She was like, keep thinking that. And then, when she left, she had this little moment where she just said, we are a wonder. Okay. I said, oh, that was deep. That was deep. The way that she delivered it. Oh my God. I don't understand why Rutina Wesley has not gotten an Emmy Award nomination, because mama can act her ass off. Like the way that she evoked emotion. Oh my God. But anyway, of course they had to leave because, Dominic had to go back. He had to, he had to deliver some assignments, okay, that he was supposed to be delivered, but he decided to go on this little road trip. And him and Nova, they had a little connection. They was about to kiss or whatever, and he swerved her, and I was like, now you've been flirting this whole time since day freaking one, and you curved that. He said, you in a vulnerable state. I don't want to do that to you right now. We can do that later when we, all to the good. I said, all right, I understand, but still, bitch, you could have gave her a kiss on the cheek or something, okay? But I get it. Meanwhile, talking about curvature, Charlie get a phone call from Davis ass telling her, go ahead and make you an overnight bag and go to the location that I send you to, okay? And she was like, oh my God, what are you talking about? What are we about to do? Davis, he hung up in her face. I said, you know what? Don't hang up in my face like that. I don't care if you're trying to be cute. But all right, so she did what he said and wound up going to a place that kind of mimicked the apartment that they first had, okay? With the set it off poster up there. They ain't even had no furniture because they couldn't afford it back then. Next thing you know, he started playing Escapes, just kicking it. And I said, Charlie, don't you fall for this shit. Don't you fall. I don't care what y'all say. I just don't want them to be with each other, okay? Move it along. They are the Issa and Lawrence of this show, okay? Don't go back. Keep moving forward. That's how I feel about it, And so he up there basically trying to get her to marry him. I said, how long has y'all been redating? Like, it's too soon. And even Charlie said that. Charlie was like, listen, you know, she started crying and shit. And I'm sitting here like, you finna break his heart. You finna break up with him. Pull a Issa. You had him get you a plane ride, get you an Uber ride, and all that, and do all this stuff, and probably finna eat some food, and you finna break up with him, just like Issa did. Got that whole ride out of Lawrence, and then broke up with him. Girl, nah, she just told him, listen, we just need some more time to continue to date each other, but we ain't finna get married right now. I said, listen, all right, go away. You know, and she told him about her political aspirations and what's going on, and she winds up telling the family that too. And of course, they are always here for it. But that was basically what was going on Queen Sugar tonight. You guys tell me how you feel about it, and I will see you guys later. And if I forgot anything, put it down in the comments and let's discuss. Peace.